guys, it's Jackie here and welcome to what I guess is another reading vlog. A reading vlog? I haven't done one for a long time, so I don't know if I should say another. This time I decided I wanted to read Nordic Tales with you guys. So this is a compilation of folk tales from Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, and Denmark. And the illustrations are by, I probably am not pronouncing her name correctly, but Ulla Final. I've been following her on Instagram for a while and her art is beautiful. So I was very excited when I saw this at Chapters and saw that she was the illustrator. So I thought this might just be a cozy, magical, fun, whimsical, historical, slightly spooky way to just kind of ease into winter. Thought I would just do a sort of cozy vlog. So my plan for this is to read a folktale from each of the countries. So I'll be reading 5 short stories, 5 folktales throughout this vlog. And so the stories are split up into different topics. So there's transformation, wit, and journeys. So 3 different ones. You can see here all the different stories, and then the different countries are all mixed in there. So yeah, I just kind of chose, I'm going to be reading a story from each of these, a couple from transformation, a couple from wit, and one from journeys. It'll go into more detail of each story when I read them. And the way I want to do this is I'm going to capture some footage. You can read along with me while I read each story. When I get to the end of the story, I'm going to explain a little bit about it, what it was about, if I can find any background information on it, and then I'm going to give it a rating out of 5. At the end, I'll let you know which one was my favorite to my least favorite and why. So we'll read a little bit about the back here. It says, trolls haunt the snowy forests, and terrifying monsters roam the open sea. Humans turn into wild animals, and animals help hapless humans. A young woman goes on a journey to the end of the world, and a boy proves he knows no fear. The stories in this collection will sweep you away to the captivating world of Nordic folklore. By turns enchanting, hilarious, chilling, and cozy, these traditional fairy tales come to life alongside beautiful contemporary art in this special illustrated edition. Ulla Final is an artist, illustrator, and graphic designer based in Helsinki, Finland. And so as far as I know, each story in here just has the country it's from. It doesn't have a specific author, so if I know that, I'll let you know, and I would encourage you to pick this up. I believe it's in all major bookstores right now, so you could probably find it really easily. They've, in this kind of somewhat series, they've also got Celtic tales, and I think there's tales from Japan, so I'd like to get those as well. I'm kind of excited. So I also just wanted to say I've been learning to knit. I want to say teaching myself to knit, but no, YouTube has been teaching me to knit. So I'm going to capture some footage of what I'm doing there, maybe get outside a little bit. But anyway, get a cozy blanket, a warm cup of tea, and we will read these folk tales. Feel free, if you've got any fairy tale, folktale compilations around your house, to read it along with me. Alright, so after a short drive, we are here in the outdoors, ready to read one of our little Nordic tales. Alright, so I'm here. It is about -20 outside, and it is warmer than it has been for a while. And it's supposed to get into the plus temperatures starting tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I am all bundled up, so I barely feel the cold, and it's actually really nice to be outside. So I've got our Nordic Tales here. It's hard to open it up here with my big mitts. But today we'll be reading Hildur, the Queen of the Elves. See here. And this is a folktale from Iceland. So we'll sit here and have a read of it, and then we'll talk about my thoughts. Hildur, the Queen of the Elves, from the Transformation section, is a semi-morbid tale originating from Iceland. This was originally an oral tale preserved in a collection published by John Arnarsson, also known as The Grimm of Iceland, under the title Icelandic National Stories and Tales in 1863. The folk tales in this share many motifs with the medieval sagas. The story follows Hildur, who is a housekeeper for a farmer and takes care of all the farm affairs. They hire a herdsman to watch the sheep, but every year he is found dead on Christmas morning with no apparent trauma. After they have difficulty hiring, they find a new herdsman who is kind and well liked by many in the village. When Christmas Eve comes, the herdsman is able to force himself to keep awake when he hears footsteps of someone approaching his bed. He sees Hildur approaching his bed and she attaches a bridle to him. She rides him as though on wings through the air until they come to a land of green fields. The herdsman learns Hildur is not a mortal being but a cursed queen who has been cursed by a vindictive mother-in-law to be banished to a land to kill a herdsman on Christmas Eve every year. The herdsman is able to use his wiles and his magic invisibility stone, which pops out of nowhere in the story, to ride his way back home on Hildur after spending a night at her castle. When she discovers he made it back home alive, she rejoices. It is all she needed to be freed from the curse. She is able to go back home to her king, and she pays the herdsman handsomely for it. He is able to buy his own farm, and the old farmer no longer has to worry about dead employees on Christmas morning. Hurrah! Toller's Neighbors, from the Transformation section. This is a Danish folktale and a happy story about a peasant newlywed couple who are neighbors to trolls who help them out with many of their troubles. By the end of the tale, the couple is no longer peasants in a tiny cottage but live in a big, beautiful house. Prosperity thanks to their little troll friends. Where can I get some? By the end, the trolls choose to move out of Denmark and past Norway, leaving small precious stones with their daughter Inger. The stones are said to be the colors of troll eyes, imparted to them by the trolls. If you see a shine and a sparkle of a stone, it could be thanks to mountain trolls, apparently. The Way of the World, from the Wit section. A folktale from Norway. A man finds his way bartering for his life with a dragon who has been buried in a hole under a massive rock for years and is looking to eat him. The man and the dragon ask numerous animals passing by what they think about the situation, until a fox happens by and helps the man to trick the dragon back into his hole under a slab of concrete. The fox comes to live with the man as per the agreement and eats all of his chickens, to which he is then beaten by the maids and sent back to the woods. That's kind of the end of the tale. Not really sure what the moral of the story is. Maybe just that the world is harsh? All I Possess, from the Wit section as well. A folktale from Sweden, this follows a stingy farmer who is looking for a new wife who will hardly eat a thing. He finds her and begins to spy on her after they are married to see if she is sneaking bacon, milk, or beer from the storehouses, because she eats so little and stays so happy and grows no thinner. Farm lad hints to her each time when her husband is spying and lets her know where he is, and she is able to do numerous things such as burn him out of his spots, pour milk on him, etc., and each time she pretends to be shocked to see him. At the end, she ends up scalding him near to death with hot water when he is hiding in a barrel. When the parson comes to visit the man on his deathbed, the wife brings out food for the parson, a great feast, to which the husband freaks out, saying, "All I possess!" as he is dying, seeing all of his food just being given away. The wife convinces the parson this means on his deathbed he is giving his wife all he possesses as his last will and testament. They agree to this, and the farmer husband dies. The wife gets all that he had, and she ends up marrying the farm lad. It was a little bit messed up. I would have to say, out of the stories, the most interesting was the last. All I Possess kept me on my toes. It was actually really engaging. On the other end of the spectrum, the most feel-good one was Toller's Neighbors. It was light and fluffy and wholesome, just having happy little trolls as your neighbor to help you just prosper and succeed in life. The most confusing was The Way of the World. I didn't really understand what was going on and what the message was supposed to be, and I felt like the ending could have definitely better proved a point. Hilda, Queen of the Elves was very well developed and written. It proved to be the image of a classic fairy tale, how I would picture it. My all-around favorite, I think, would be Hilda, Queen of the Elves, for it was the most well-rounded, and I kind of enjoyed the little hint of darkness, and also that it centered kind of around Christmas. Although if I were to share a story with somebody, it would be Toller's Neighbors, just because it's just nice. It sounds like something that people who like lighthearted fantasy would enjoy. The illustrations for each story were beautiful. I encourage everyone to check out the illustrator, who I will link in the description. And I encourage every fairy and folktale fan to pick up this neat book to add to your collection. But careful, the tales up north are strange.